Hello guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we will be taking a look again at the New York Mets approach to the 2020 MLB free agency. And I know they haven't signed James McCann yet. It seemed like a lock. I was ready to have my video out earlier today for my reaction breaking down that signing. It has not happened yet. The Los Angeles Angels at the time of recording this have come into play along plenty of other teams, and for good reason. So hoping that deal does in fact happen, the Mets do become favorable in the end, I will surely have a video out breaking down my reaction, everything there is to know about that signing. And same thing can be said with any other major signings that the Mets make this MLB free agency. So stay tuned for all of them. I cannot wait for that to happen. It's really going to be a rush to say the least. But we are breaking down relief pitcher Liam Hendriks today because SNY in particular has reported over the past couple hours at the time of recording this that the Mets have been showing some fairly significant interest in the relief pitcher, and for good reason. If you look at the free agent market currently in regards to relief pitchers, Liam Hendriks is right at the top of the list, and what a get he would be for the New York Mets should they in fact not just show more interest in, but eventually sign him in the end. So that in a nutshell is what we will be breaking down today's video. So as always, make sure you stay all the way to the end, find all the deets and all my thoughts on who exactly Liam Hendriks is, what he would bring to the table for the Mets, why it would make perfect sense for the Mets to go after a guy like him, and everything in between. And also make sure that like and subscribe button if you end up enjoying this kind of Mets content. Share with your friends, all those great things, guys. It would really mean a lot. But without further ado, let's get right into this video. Liam Hendriks, what a story this guy is. At 31 years of age, the right-handed reliever at 6 foot 230 pounds has been an absolute monster the past couple years for the Oakland A's as their closer. And at the time of recording this in particular, himself along with Nick Anderson from the Tampa Bay Rays have been awarded as the all MLB first team relievers. That's very impressive, definitely deserving. Just funny that this happened at the time of recording this. But Liam Hendriks, what an amazing story he truly is. Bouncing with multiple teams in his career through a 12-year career to date, from my knowledge, starting off his career with multiple years with the Minnesota Twins, then having a short stint with the Toronto Blue Jays, and then most recently since 2016 being with the Oakland A's, in which he has truly taken his game to the next level. A truly fearless reliever on the mound, has seen amazing strides in his game as a closer, as one of the most dominant relievers in baseball the past 2 years. And in 2020, this past season, in 24 games played and 25.1 innings pitched, he had 3 wins, 1 loss, an ERA of 1.78, a total of 37 strikeouts, a 0.67 whip, a 13.14 K per 9, and a 1.07 walks per 9 innings. Truly remarkable. And in the year prior, in 2019, that is really where he stood out and had his first major season that led him to become an all-star, in which in 75 games played and 85 innings pitched, he had an ERA of 1.80, 124 strikeouts, a 0.96 whip, a 13.13 K per 9, and a 2.22 walks per 9. Hendriks commands 3 pitches that are nothing short of absolutely disgusting, and they are his fastball that usually tops out around 97 but is really deceiving and looks like it goes 100 plus with how it goes off from his release, and then his slider at 87 miles per hour topping out has so much break on it is ridiculous, and then mixing up things with his curve as well, topping out around 84. It is so deceptive, it makes so many hitters look absolutely foolish, even some of the best in the game, and that has been evident during his stint not just in the regular season and in the playoffs, and also during his stint in the All-Star game. Hendriks has also found himself in the top 3% in the entire MLB over the past 2 seasons in regards to his strikeout percentage. Truly amazing, and there are so many reasons to love this guy and why he would be a perfect fit for the Mets. 1, he's absolutely fearless on the mound, and 2, he's a late bloomer, and I think that's great for a guy that is really coming into his prime now after for the majority of his career either being average or mediocre. You know, he has a career ERA of just over 4, and he hasn't had numbers remotely close to what he's been doing since 2019 until 2019. So it's very interesting to see a guy of his age really not coming into his own until basically his 30s. But that has been the case with Hendriks, the Australian, and yes, he's Australian. Isn't that so cool? I just love these kind of stories as well. Guys coming from Europe or just other parts of the country. Overall, I think that's pretty neat. But finally becoming an all-star, cherishing every moment of it as well, is just a great story, and he would be perfect as the closer for the New York Mets. And I know, look, yes, we have plenty of relievers. You have Seth Lugo, you have Edwin Diaz, you have Trevor May now. These are all guys capable of closing out games, or at least that's what you would think. But I can tell you personally, I know you Mets fans can too, when it comes to a guy like Edwin Diaz, Diaz is a strikeout machine that has yet to really command the home run ball still. still. That's been his biggest issue from everything that we have told. Yes, walks have happened at times, but normally it's a big bomb from the first time they became Met. I tell you personally, I've been to plenty of Mets games over these past couple years, and especially in the 2019 season. I was in Philly for a game when the Mets came back. Todd Frazier hit a home run in the top of the ninth, and Mets were finally getting a lead, and then Diaz like loads the bases and gives up like a bomb, like everything to, I think it was Gene Segura for the Phillies. Don't even get me started. But my point is that Diaz, as amazing of stuff that he has when it comes to his pitches, he isn't meant to be the ninth inning guy at this point in time. He was fantastic with Mariners, but take that out of the equation. That is not relevant at this point in time. And the Mets don't have any reasoning to really have a guy like Diaz in the ninth inning unless he truly proves himself, and who knows how he's going to prove himself. Maybe they start him in the ninth next season. I doubt it though. I think in the Mets best case scenario, they should not have Diaz in the ninth inning. I think he'd be a perfect setup guy, or even in the seventh at times, whatever it may be, just not in the ninth, at least not much, because you bring a guy like Hendriks who just has absolutely filthy stuff. And the biggest difference between the two, in my opinion, is that Hendriks, one, he's in the prime of his career, he's shown plenty of consistency over the past 2 years, versus a guy like Diaz who has not, even though Diaz has age on his side and great stuff. But the biggest thing with Hendriks also is that he is just so difficult to go up against. He truly has a demeanor that is so ruthless, and then as a hitter, that is the last thing you want to go up against. And deceptive pitches by all stretch of the imagination. He would be perfect as a closer. Very much gives me a lot of Craig Kimbrell vibes, if you will, during his heyday years ago with the Boston Red Sox in particular, is what I get with a guy like Hendriks on the mound, and with a lot of emotion as well. I love that. I love that kind of personality for a pitcher. He really has it all. Just imagine the bullpen the Mets would have with not just Edwin Diaz as it is, Trevor May, who has some great stuff, who is just a fantastic guy, a great personality. I love everything about that man already. And then you have other guys, Seth Lugo, the man. He's been the most consistent guy for the Mets for years now. Such an underrated guy in the Mets, and I don't know how he's still underrated, but he is. And then you have Dylan Betances. We'll see if he can bounce back and have a better year next year. Time will tell, but the Mets don't necessarily need him to bank on that anymore. Among the plenty of other pitchers, Gazelman, we'll see what happens there. He really hasn't been much of anything in a couple years due to his injuries and just lack of consistency. But I think the Mets are in a prime spot now to have a guy like Hendriks command the ninth, and then you can either have one of Lugo or Diaz being the setup man and alternating, whatever you need to do. But the Mets are really primed to be in a great position going forward with their bullpen, and adding Hendriks would really be a game changer to take them to that next level. They're upgrading in every which way, it looks like, in free agency or through trade. We'll see, time will tell, but they are making some fantastic moves, and the fact that they're showing interest in all these players is just such a delight, and I cannot wait to report on it for all you lovely people. But as always, guys, make sure to let me know your thoughts in the comments below. How do you feel about a guy like Liam Hendriks landing with the New York Mets? Do you think he's the type of closer that the Mets could desperately use over these next couple years in this win now stage? I'm not sure exactly what kind of contract we would be looking at per se. If it would say be just a 2-year deal, it would have to be a longer term deal. I'm really not sure. I think he's definitely more up in the air, because relievers are kind of hard to grasp a good understanding, especially with him, who's had some great success, but it's been short-term success just over these past couple years. So I'm not sure how to weigh that, but I want to know your thoughts in the comments below, and I would love it if you hit that like and subscribe button. If you ended up enjoying this kind of Mets content, if you're looking forward to more Mets content going forward, I plan to be as consistent as humanly possible. Finally finishing finals for my semester this week. Once that is out of the way, I can finally just really hone in and focus on this channel and my hockey channel as well, which I will have in the description down below. But thank you so much, guys. Stay tuned for whenever the Mets sign or trade for a player. I will be here to discuss it with all you lovely people, and I'll be back real soon.